You stood in the salon chair last week. You asked for a pixie. You left feeling hopeful. But this morning, you looked in the mirror and something felt wrong. Not wrong like a bad day. Wrong like a decision you can't easily undo. You're not alone. And more importantly, you didn't make a mistake. You made 7. And none of them were your fault, because nobody warned you about them first. Here's the part that matters. Every single one of those 7 mistakes is quietly doing something specific to your face. Pulling it down, flattening it, or erasing the bone structure you were born with. And a pixie cut, done right, should do the opposite. It should be the most liberating, face-lifting, jaw-dropping thing you've ever worn on your head. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and youth-boosting fixes for mature women, so you get simple, proven transformations that work immediately. Today we're covering 7 pixie cut mistakes women over 60 should avoid. And by part 3, you're going to want to pause the video and call your stylist. I mean it. Part 1 opens with the mistake I see made in almost every consultation for women over 60. Part 2 has a fix so specific it will change how your whole face reads in the mirror. Part 3 contains something a senior colorist told me that I genuinely was not expecting. Part 4 addresses the one styling detail most women get wrong every single morning without knowing it. And Part 5 wraps with 2 swaps that take 30 seconds and add what looks like 10 years of youth back to your face, in the right direction. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1, the length mistake. Too short for your face shape. There is a moment in the salon that most women over 60 recognize immediately. The stylist holds up the reference photo. It looks stunning on the model. You nod. You say yes. And somewhere between that photo and the finished cut, something gets lost. And what gets lost is almost always the same thing: length. The cut goes too short. And once it's gone, the whole game changes. Here's what nobody explains to you in that chair. A pixie that is cut too short for your specific face shape. And most women over 60 have a face that has changed in the last decade. Stops working the moment it passes a certain point on your temple. That line is not the same for every woman. It is absolutely specific to you. And when the stylist misses it, your face reads rounder, flatter, and heavier than it actually is. Not because of your face. Because of the cut. This is the one a friend of mine asked her stylist about, and the stylist went quiet for a moment before answering. That pause told her everything. The reason this mistake is so common is actually very specific. When stylists who are not specialists in mature hair cut a pixie on a woman over 60, they are often working from training that was designed for a different face. A face without the natural softening around the jaw and cheek that comes with time. A face without the slightly shifted fat distribution that changes where volume sits. The cut that looked tight and chic on a 30-year-old client reads completely differently on you. Not because your face is less beautiful, but because the physics of the cut are responding to different bone placement. Honestly, the cut that is aging you most right now might not be the style. It might be 1 single centimeter of length that was taken off without thinking. Too short at the temples removes every softening line your face has. It leaves the perimeter stark, hard, and geometric. And if your face has already softened along the jaw, that hard geometric frame is going to fight your features instead of flattering them. This one is everything. The fix is not dramatic. It is not a full restyle. It is a conversation. Specifically, asking your stylist to keep at least 1.5 inches of soft layered length at the temple and crown before they make any decision about shortening the sides. That 1.5 inches is what separates a pixie that ages you from a pixie that becomes your signature look. When you swap the blunt cut too short pixie for a version with gentle length retained at the crown and soft wispy movement at the temple, the structure of your cheekbone becomes the first thing anyone sees. It rises. It projects. And your whole face reads younger, not because the cut is hiding anything, but because the right length is finally framing everything correctly. Maintenance tip. Ask your stylist to mark the length line at your temple with a clip before cutting, so you can both agree on it before a single scissor moves. What is coming in the next part is the mistake I see even on women who got the length exactly right. And it is completely invisible until you know what to look for. Part 2, the texture mistake. A pixie cut that is blunt and flat. Have you ever wondered why your pixie looked perfect in the salon and then, about 3 days later, started looking like a completely different cut? That is not bad luck. That is texture. Or more precisely, the complete absence of it. A blunt pixie cut is one of the most common mistakes made for women over 60. And the reason it survives as long as it does in salons is because it looks clean and precise in photographs. Stylists love the finish. It photographs beautifully. And then you take it home, and you wash it, and you dry it, and you stand in front of your mirror and wonder what happened. Here is what happened. Blunt cutting removes the movement that a mature pixie needs to function. Your hair, especially after 60, especially if it has any silver or gray in it, has a different texture than it did at 40. It is often finer. It sits differently. It dries differently. And when you take away the internal layering and the textured ends that create visual lightness, what you have left is a cut that lies flat against your head and reads heavy. The exact opposite of what a pixie is supposed to do. And here is the part most women never hear. Flat hair makes your face appear heavier. When there is no lift at the crown and no movement at the sides, the eye travels downward along your silhouette, and everything from your cheekbones to your jaw reads as weighted, rather than elevated. You end up looking tired. And you are not tired. You are just wearing the wrong cut. Write this one down. The fix is called internal point cutting, and it is a technique, not a product. It means your stylist breaks up the ends of the cut with a diagonal scissor motion, rather than a clean horizontal line. The result is ends that move, catch light, and create the illusion of volume and energy. You cannot buy this in a bottle. It has to happen at the chair. The second fix is asking specifically for a crown section that is left slightly longer and softly layered upward, so that when you style it, even with just your fingers, it lifts naturally. That lift is worth at least 3 years visually. I am not exaggerating. There is something about a textured pixie on a woman over 60 that stylists who specialize in mature hair describe as the cut finally breathing. That is not poetic language. That is exactly what it looks like, as if the hair suddenly has air in it. And air means youth. The swap here is direct. If you are currently wearing a blunt-ended pixie with flat sides and no internal layering, swap it for a point cut, internally layered version with crown lift. You will feel the difference immediately when you run your fingers through it, and you will see it in the mirror within 10 seconds of styling. Maintenance tip. Have your texture refreshed every 4 to 5 weeks rather than waiting for a full cut. Texture grows out faster than length and is the first thing to collapse. Coming up next, part 3, and I have to be honest with you. What the colorist told me about pixie cuts on silver and gray hair is the one thing I did not see coming. It is that specific and that important. Part 3, the color mistake. One-dimensional gray on a pixie cut. Most women over 60 think the color conversation ends when they decide to go silver. It does not. It is just beginning. Here is what I heard from a senior colorist who has worked in high-end salons for over 20 years. She said, a one-dimensional color on a pixie cut is the fastest way to make a mature woman's face look like it is disappearing into her hair. And when I asked her what she meant, she said this: when there is no contrast, no dimension, no variation in tone across such a short cut, the hair and the face start to read as the same value. The boundary between your skin and your hair becomes soft. And soft boundaries mean no definition. And no definition is what ages a face faster than almost anything else. I watched a woman in a salon chair last week. Stunning bone structure, perfect posture, and her single-process gray had completely flattened her face into her hairline. She kept asking the stylist why she looked tired. Nobody told her the truth. It was the color, not the woman. This is the one people message me about most. And every time, the answer is the same. The solution is not about going darker or lighter across the whole head. That is not what creates definition on a pixie cut. What creates definition is strategic tonal variation, specifically slightly deeper tones at the sides and nape, and slightly lighter, more luminous tones at the crown and the front. That contrast, even subtle, gives your pixie a three-dimensional quality that a single process color can never achieve. And more importantly, it draws a clean, visible boundary between your hair and your face. Here is what changes in the mirror. Your cheekbones lift because the tonal shift creates a shadow beneath them. Your eyes appear more open because the crown is lighter. And your face stops disappearing into a gray field and starts reading as a distinct, elegant, high-definition feature. Ask your colorist specifically for dimensional toning on your Pixie, not highlights in the traditional sense, but a tonal map that places warmth and luminosity where the face needs to read most clearly. Maintenance tip. Tonal work on a Pixie needs refreshing every 6 to 8 weeks, more frequently than on longer hair, because the cut is short enough that grown-out tones lose their placement and stop doing their job. The next mistake is the one I see in the styling routine. Not the cut, not the color. The thing that happens every morning at home, with a product or a tool that seems completely harmless. Part 4 is where the most fixable damage lives. Part 4. The styling mistake. Heavy product that weighs down a Pixie. This mistake begins at your bathroom shelf, and it ends in the mirror with a cut that looks older, flatter, and less alive than the one you walked out of the salon wearing. You have been using too much product. More specifically, the wrong kind of product, applied in a way that silently cancels every piece of work your stylist did to give your Pixie lift and movement. Here is the specific story. Most women over 60 reach for the same products they have been using for years. A cream, a pomade, a balm, something with a weight and a hold that feels familiar and controlled. And on longer hair, those products work. On a Pixie cut, especially a short, textured Pixie on fine or silver hair, they are the enemy. They sit on the hair rather than inside it. They coat the strand. They flatten the crown. And that light, dimensional, energetic Pixie that your stylist gave you collapses within hours of arriving home. Honestly, the product mistake is the one I wish every stylist wrote down on a card and handed to their client at the end of every appointment. The right product for a Pixie cut on mature hair is a lightweight texturizing spray, or a small amount of volumizing mousse applied at the root. Not through the lengths, not on the ends. The roots are where the lift begins. The ends need to move freely. When you weigh the ends, you lose the movement. And when you lose the movement, you lose the youth. Yes, that's simple. Here is the second part of this mistake that nobody discusses. Application timing. Product on dry hair and product on damp hair produce completely different results on a Pixie cut. If you apply your product to dry hair, it sits on top. If you apply it to hair that is about 80% dry, still slightly cool to the touch, it bonds inside the strand and creates internal hold. That internal hold is what gives you a Pixie that stays lifted and alive for 12 hours instead of 2. The swap is this. If you are currently using any cream, balm, or pomade through your Pixie lengths, swap it for a volumizing mousse or lightweight texturizing spray applied only at the root when your hair is 80% dry. Lift with your fingertips, not a brush. Shake gently, do not press. The shake lifts the curl and the wave and the natural texture. The press removes it. Maintenance tip. Less product, always. A Pixie cut amplifies every ounce of product you apply. Start with half of what you think you need and add from there. There is one mistake left, and it is the one that sits at the intersection of everything we have covered today. Part 5 brings it all together in the 2 swaps that change the entire picture. Do not skip it. Part 5, the shape mistake. A Pixie that fights your face instead of framing it. Every mistake we have covered today, the length, the texture, the color, the product, all of them are individual problems with individual fixes. But this one is different. This one is the reason all of those other mistakes get made in the first place. It is the shape. Not the shape of your face. The shape of the cut. And the fact that most women over 60 are wearing a Pixie cut that was not designed for their facial structure at all. It was designed for a reference photo. And reference photos do not have your bone structure, your jaw, your brow, or your cheekbones. Here is the bold truth. A Pixie cut on a woman over 60 is one of the most architecture-sensitive cuts in existence. The shape of the perimeter, where the cut ends at the ear, how it falls at the nape, how it sits above the eyebrow. Each of these points either flatters or fights your face. And getting even one of them wrong cancels everything that is right about the rest of the cut. This is the one that a friend of mine heard and immediately booked a new consultation with a specialist she had never seen before. There are 3 specific shape elements that determine everything on a Pixie cut for a mature woman. First, the sideburn line. It should end with a soft, slightly tapered wispy point at the cheek, not a hard blunt line cut above the ear. That wispy point draws the eye forward and down toward the cheekbone, which lifts the whole face. A hard line above the ear does the opposite. It shortens the face vertically and adds apparent width. Second, the nape. On a woman over 60, the nape must taper softly rather than end in a horizontal line. A horizontal nape line creates a visual shelf at the back of the head that adds weight and reads heavily in profile. Third, the crown angle. The cut must be longer at the front hairline than at the back crown, even by 1 centimeter. That forward slope creates the illusion of height and projection, which is what makes your bone structure visible from across a room. Now for the 2 swaps that change everything. Swap 1. If you are currently wearing a pixie where the sides end in a blunt horizontal line above or at the ear, swap it for a cut where the sideburn is left long enough to taper to a soft wispy point that just grazes the cheekbone. That one adjustment lifts your entire face instantly. Swap 2. If your nape is currently cut into a clean horizontal line, ask your stylist to taper it diagonally, shorter at the sides and slightly longer at the center, so the shape follows the natural curve of your head rather than cutting against it. In photographs, this single change makes your neck appear longer and your posture appear taller. Together, these 2 swaps do something that no product and no styling technique can do on their own. They make the cut look like it was made specifically for you. Because it was. Maintenance tip. The shape of a pixie is more important than its length. A well-shaped pixie at 6 weeks looks better than a poorly shaped pixie freshly cut. Visit your stylist every 4 weeks to preserve the perimeter before it loses its architecture. You just learned the 7 pixie cut mistakes that most women over 60 spend years navigating alone. And you did it in one sitting. Your bone structure was always this stunning. Now you know exactly how to let the cut show it. Boom. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 mistakes were you making without knowing it? I read every single one, and I want to know which part made you want to pick up the phone. Next time, we are getting into the 1 hair color mistake that adds 10 years overnight. And it has nothing to do with going gray. It is something far more specific, and most women are doing it every 6 weeks at the salon without realizing it. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I will see you in the next one.